What up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with a banger game theory reaction for you. That is right, I'm hyped for this because game theory just dropped. Game theory, Roblox doors just opened the gates of hell. Floor 2 update. That's right, as you guys know, the new update has come out, and I'm beyond hyped to find out what kind of lore is in this. But before we do, please show Game Theory some love by subscribing to the channel and chat. We're trying to get to 250,000 subs. So if you haven't yet, please smash that subscribe button and join the Sauce Gang family. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Cause it's a game theory. Thanks for
Roblox
watching.
Doors Floor 2
Jesus.
has arrived,
Ah!
and it is hard.
No,
she
I'm
said?
getting eaten. No, what the heck?
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Where did the
damn.
sparkles go?
They're so common down here. Ah!
But while all of us creators were distracted focusing on the new levels and enemies, the Doors devs quietly made some graphical changes to the original Floor 1 locations. And what they added changes everything that we know about the lore of this franchise. Let's just say, if you guys thought the mines were hell, you ain't seen nothing yet. Hello Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's excited to have more floors for Doors lore. That's right, the Minds update
More
for
floors for
Roblox
door lore?
Doors has finally arrived.
More floors for
And
door
behind every
lore.
new door is a bunch of new lore to discover. It's like the best game show ever. What's behind door number 1? Lore! What's behind door number 2?
lore.
More lore! Everybody
More lore.
wins! Especially us. With each new update, we are being given more and more clues to solve the story of this mysterious world. Our current theory is that we are playing in a hotel from the 1940s, one that
True
was
that.
turned into a medical facility during World War II. Now, it's haunted by the spirits of those who died
spooky,
here, as well as a
Ooh,
culty
spooky.
experiment or two. But not every force is
sorry.
being an
I'm
evil
in a good
one.
mood,
A
Chad. I'm
blue
sorry.
light known as guiding
Sorry.
light is helping us to escape the clutches of these evil
Yep.
monsters. Lighting up
Guiding
doors,
light's
giving
good.
you items like the crucifix to help defend yourself, and
Oh,
telling
the
you how to
sparkles,
avoid the
Chad.
monsters when you die. They're basically our guardian angel, although according to the wingdings on the crucifix's binding circle, they are actually known as an architect, likely because they help guide us through the labyrinth of doors in this hotel. A magical architect would probably know the layout of the building, even if it never looks the same twice. Which leads us to today and all the lore that is waiting for us down on floor 2. On a surface level, it's just a lot more of the stuff you
Keep it
loved from the
gangsta,
original.
y'all.
Try
Keep
to
it
walk
gangsta.
through 100 doors without dying to the various entities. Only this time, you're not in a hotel, you're in a mine shaft. Truly, this is innovation that excites. Of course, I'm kidding. There is a lot of great changes that have been made for this update. We've got new entities like the Gloom Bats, Giggles, and Grumbles. We've got new mechanics like the minecart
Dang
puzzles,
Giggles and
chases,
Grumbles, chat.
exploding
The
rooms,
dang Giggles
even
and
codes
Grumbles.
to power generators. We even have a platforming-style boss battle against the main villain of this floor, our old pal Seek. Though he's clearly let himself go a bit. What happened to you, man? You were literally running after
bunch
me
of
a few
double
floors ago.
cheeseburgers.
You can't let losing to me get you like this.
Dude, that
especially
looks like,
when you've been the
abstract?
missing
Is that
piece
what
of
it's
our lore
called?
puzzle since the very beginning. Yep, Seek's
From,
rise from
the Amazing
random
Digital
entity to
Circus?
final boss battle isn't just for a
Ooh,
change in
Jesus.
mechanics. It's highlighting how important he is to the lore of this franchise, and that we have been wrong to not have theorized about him sooner. Yeah, that's kind of my bad. So grab your glow sticks, friends, because
Dropping the
we're
ball,
about
bruv.
to shed some light on the mysteries hidden in the minds of Roblox Doors. As I've mentioned, this new floor has added a lot to this game, but before we dive into the stuff going on there, I wanted to check out some of the changes this update brought to other parts of the game. There have been some minor tweaks like how some entities spawn, move around, and interact with the player throughout the hotel. Most of them have just been quality of life changes. That is, except for one. The courtyard got a massive graphical overhaul, and the biggest difference to me was that there is now a pedestal placed in front of the angel statue that we've been theorizing about. On that pedestal, there is a code written in wingdings. Wingdings seem to be one of the ways that we are being given crucial information by the devs in this franchise. Last time they revealed huge details about guiding light and the architects through the crucifix's binding circle. So whatever this says is likely going to be very
the
important.
Celestials are here
And
to help,
indeed it
chat.
is. Translating it gives us a single word: Limbo. Limbo has a few interpretations in
stuck in
various
limbo.
religious cultures,
So
but
we're
the
not
most
in
common
hell
and
yet.
well-known interpretation comes from a set of narrative poems, Dante's Divine Comedy. Dante was a religious philosopher who wrote these poems while he was questioning his own newfound faith, feeling like he'd lost his way. He wanted to explore the ideas of heaven and hell, and so he wrote poems about him traveling through those worlds. First up was the poem Dante's Inferno, where he goes through the 9 circles of hell. Limbo is the very first circle, and those who reside there were generally considered good people, but were not baptized or were from other religious backgrounds. Even though they weren't Christian,
so Limbo is part of hell? It's the first ring of hell?
From the torture of the lower circles of hell. Dante therefore describes Limbo as a green and luscious landscape, separated from the real world by a large river, and within its woods is a flowing brook and a castle. But why am I telling you this? Outside of the word limbo being mentioned on the statue, it doesn't really seem like there's any connection with Dante's Divine Comedy. That is, until you get through door 200 and escape the mines. As we climb up the ladder, we find ourselves in a forest. Behind us is a large river that separates us from any other land. We cross a flowing brook, and finally, we arrive at, you guessed it, a castle. Coincidence? I think not. This game isn't taking place in a real-world hotel like we first believed. We are in the first ring of afterlife. And yes, I know the creators have said this game isn't religious, but when they keep adding religious images and languages like this, what's a tourist supposed to do? This place being Limbo would explain so much of what we've been seeing. The afterlife in Dante's Divine Comedy is described as physically impossible in many ways, defying all laws of physics and logic. Suddenly, the impossible construction of the hotel, the mineshaft, the sewers, it's all possible if this isn't a real hotel from the 1940s, but instead part of the afterlife. Plus, the connections to Limbo don't stop there. In a previous theory, we spoke about El Goblino and how he seems to be a perfect match for a creature from Spanish-speaking folklore, the duende. They are gnome or goblin-like creatures who hide in the walls to try to scare humans, just like El Goblino does throughout your run in the hotel. But
they're a little spooky looking, dude. They look like from Harry Potter.
Spirits of infants that have died before they were baptized. And one of the common sights in Dante's Limbo is exactly that. Infants who weren't baptized. Their spirits weren't cleansed of original sin, and so now they are forced to wander for eternity with no chance of escape. Although that doesn't seem to be the case for us. We aren't sitting around letting eternity pass us by. We are actively trying to escape in some way, getting through the 100 doors of the hotel and the 100 doors of the mines, all with the help of guiding light. Why guiding light has been helping us and not any of these other poor trapped spirits has been unclear at best. But with these connections to Dante's Divine Comedy, I think we might have an answer. It's important to know that even though the Divine Comedy takes place in the afterlife, Dante himself isn't actually dead. He had simply lost his way. He was questioning his faith, which led to beings from heaven like the Virgin Mary and St. Lucia to send him a spiritual guide to help him get through the 9 circles of hell, as well as purgatory and eventually heaven, all with the hope that after he returns to the mortal world, he will be enlightened.
So is purgatory above Limbo?
Send the soul of the famous Roman poet
purgatory
Virgil
was
to do
worse than
just
Limbo.
that. Virgil becomes Dante's guide, explaining the different circles as they go and helping him traverse the confusing landscape. This is a perfect parallel for guiding light. For a while, we believed that this angel statue we saw in the courtyard was guiding light in physical form, the guardian angel that was going to help us through the game. However, once we translated the woundings from the crucifix's binding circle, we've been less and less sure about whether that's the case. It refers to guiding light as one of 3 architects marked by celestials. Last time we spoke about how the term celestial or celestial beings has been used throughout history to describe angels and other heavenly beings, but guiding light has been specifically referred to as something else, and now we know why. Guiding light isn't a celestial or angel or heavenly being. They are a spirit sent by the celestials to guide us through Limbo, like Virgil was sent by the Virgin Mary. That's why guiding light is helping us and not the other entities we see. The other entities are the spirits of the dead. Their fate has been sealed. They are unable to go back to the world of the living, but we aren't dead yet. We're just visiting the afterlife, and guiding light is the one to help us get through it. That doesn't mean we're done with this angel statue. No, sirree. If it isn't guiding light, then it does feel like it needs to be someone else. Otherwise, what's the point of not only including the angel statue to begin with, but also giving it a massive glow-up during this update? Oh yeah, it's not just the pedestal in front of the statue that changed. The actual statue has been altered dramatically. Rather than this massive angel with its face shrouded in darkness, wings that curve around its body, and a 2-handed sword stance, we now have a much more open and obvious visual. The angel now stands in a triumphant pose, its sword held with one hand, and 4 wings spread out wide. We can also see its face, and though it's plain, it does have a a band of eyes circling it. This depiction matches what we get from the prophet Ezekiel in the Bible. In chapter 10, he describes cherubim as creatures with 4 wings and so many eyes that they cover every part of their body. Yeah, not quite the cute little baby angels we often see them depicted as. And the reason they had hundreds of eyes like this was because the cherubim were responsible for guarding and protecting what belonged to God. They were warriors. They had to keep watch and see everything. It's a pretty solid match for our statue here. Although, when I got thinking about hundreds of eyes, it did remind me of another entity in this game that also has hundreds of eyes and likes to keep watch. One that I mentioned right at the start of this episode. In the main lobby of the hotel, you can find these white eyes with black goop hidden around the room, constantly watching you. During any of your runs, there is a chance that at a random point, you'd begin to see these eyes appear once again on the walls. The further you went, the more and more eyes appeared, until eventually you would enter a large hallway where, out of a puddle of black goo, Seek would emerge to chase you down. They then return in the Mines update to once again chase us, but they also become a giant goo monster as part of the final level, and in this form, they are covered in dozens of eyes. Seek is constantly being shown to be an entity with hundreds of eyes connected to them.
What's he watching?
They have been watching us throughout the hotel.
But for what? What's he protecting?
Just like the cherubim use their eyes to keep watch for dangerous threats. That's right, theorists. I am telling you that I believe our goopy boy Seek is in fact an angel like the one we see in the courtyard. One of the entities that this game calls a celestial. I know, it sounds ridiculous. Lots of eyes aren't the only thing that makes an angel an angel. And outside of that detail, Seek looks nothing like the angel we see in the courtyard.
Even the devil was a fallen angel,
chat. Good, right? They're here to defend and protect the innocent. It's the Celestials that gave us guiding light to help us, and he actively guides us during Seek's chase sequence. He blocks Seek's path with a blue seal over the door. He even makes a cart appear beneath us to help us escape. Guiding light and Seek are on opposite sides. And if guiding light is on the side of the heavenly Celestials, then Seek cannot be an angel. Or so you would think, until you remember the inspiration that comes from Dante's Inferno. Right now, we are in the afterlife, in Limbo. During his time in hell, Dante speaks to multiple angels that are stuck there, although only one of them gets top billing. And he is also described as not quite looking like his original beautiful form, Lucifer. We've actually talked about Lucifer before. In one of our earlier theories, we thought it was connected to Curious Light, the yellow light and one of the other architects that quote-unquote helps us in the back door and room levels of the hotel. But just like Guiding Light, it's clear that these architects are not angels themselves, and so Curious Light cannot be Lucifer. Don't worry, little guy, we'll figure you out eventually. In case you're unaware, Lucifer was originally one of the highest ranking angels in heaven. Ezekiel describes him as God's anointed cherub, aligning him with the statue from the courtyard. Eventually, Lucifer became prideful and rebelled against God, wanting all of the glory for himself, leading to him falling from grace and into the underworld. In Dante's Inferno, Lucifer's form is described as monstrous, deformed, and hideous, not like the angelic appearance he had before being cast out. However, despite this, he did maintain some of his angel-like features, most notably his multiple eyes. So, even though Seek may not look like an angel, the fact he shares one of the few features Lucifer maintained after his fall from grace certainly makes it seem like these two are connected. Lucifer has also been depicted as a creature made from black goo, taking on a humanoid form in shows like Supernatural, though I'm not sure this specific detail is intentional. Maybe the devs are just fans of the show, but I thought it was interesting to call out nonetheless. It is more than just his appearance though. Seek also shares a lot of his power set with Lucifer as well. One of Lucifer's powers is that he's a shapeshifter, becoming a snake to deceive Eve in the Garden of Eden, as well as tricking humans by appearing to be an angel of light when he is anything but. Likewise, Seek is able to shapeshift into whatever he needs, be it a humanoid, a big blob, or hundreds of arms that try to grab you as you escape. Lucifer is commonly associated with being able to control fire due to his power over hell. During Seek's chase, the entire hotel bursts into flames. And to top it all off, in religious contexts, Lucifer is shown to corrupt the minds and souls of people, tricking them into sinning, turning them into worse versions of themselves. And Seek has been doing the exact same thing. In the mines, there's a new entity called a giggle. They are white tentacled monsters with giant teeth that hang from the ceiling of dark rooms and jump scare you. You may notice that sounds awfully similar to an entity from the hotel called Screech. Screech Each also has a white face, tentacles, large teeth, and hides in dark rooms. The only difference is that Screech is partially covered in black goo. Seek's black goo. The developers are showing us that Seek is taking control of entities like the Giggles and corrupting them, turning them into even worse monsters.
So
we
literally
actually
it's
see
the
this
devil,
happen
bro.
in real time at the end of the game, where Seek absorbs the giant grumble at the face of the castle. And he has the power to do all of this because we're in his domain. In the Bible, it is said that God created hell for the devil and his minions to rule over. Likewise, the Celestials made this version of Limbo for Seek to rule over. That's why the angel statue with the word Limbo written next to it is standing in such a triumphant pose. This is Seek's true form, a four-winged, multi-eyed cherub, just like Lucifer. He may have lost the battle against the other Celestials, but now he's been given this domain to rule, and so there he stands proudly. Seek is a fallen angel, a cast-out Celestial. We are on his turf, which means that his power is only going to get worse from here. When Dante and Virgil enter the castle inside of Limbo, they find the spirits of history's wisest men. After spending some time with them, Dante and Virgil continue on
not
their
the
journey,
devil, but
heading to the
like-
second circle and
like the
continuing
devil,
to
a
go
fallen
deeper
angel.
and deeper into hell, until eventually they reach the center of hell and come face to face with Satan himself. This castle
the
isn't
devil.
going to be our safe fortress. Inside there are going to be more powerful spirits because we're actually heading deeper into Limbo. So if you thought the mines were a challenge, you better get ready for even more pain.
Floor 3.
No, it was right there.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, dude.
And it's not going to stop at the castle either. When you beat the mines, you unlock an achievement called See You Soon. Like Dante, we are going to be heading deeper and deeper into this hell we find
into the
ourselves
next
in.
ring.
And that achievement is a message from Seek, promising that they're going to keep following us through hell, and as they do, they are going to become more and more powerful. We've actually already seen this happen with the 2 floors we have available. In the hotel, Seek only had one form, and while he was able to manipulate the space, he could really only chase us. But now that we've fallen lower down into the mines, he took on a much bigger and larger form, gaining even more power. So eventually, I could see us ending up at Hell's center, where Seek is going to be at his strongest. Maybe we'll even see him take on some of his original form. But if we defeat him, we'll finally be able to escape and receive the enlightenment we're after. Of course, Seek isn't going to take any of this lying down. He's going to keep trying to stop us on each floor before we get there. In fact, he's actually the most determined entity to try and stop you. Entities like Rush, Halt, and Ambush are just spirits
They're not
that
as
float through the
motivated.
hotel and kill you if
They're
they pass
slightly
by.
motivated.
Sure, you still end up dead, but it's relatively passive. The figure, while much more active, is animalistic, acting on sound and instinct. Seek, on the other hand, is different. Seek actively chases you. He creates
seeks you
obstacles
out.
to stop you getting away,
Seek
and when
seeks
guiding
you
you
out.
up with a seal over the door, he continually bangs on it, trying desperately to get to you. This felt like a crucial distinction for Seek's lore, but I couldn't really figure out why he acted differently. Does he not want you to reach enlightenment? Is it that he believes nobody should be able to leave the afterlife once they're there? Maybe it's because you're in his domain and he simply wants to remove the intruder. That's basically the plot of the Tower Heroes crossover event, to keep the humans out. But then again, that event isn't canon, so can't really rely on that either. However, if you so happen to die to Seek while in third-person mode, we finally get our answer. Normally when you die, you just fall over, but with Seek, your body quickly turns black, and we hear a modified version of Seek's cry. We are being covered in Seek's black goo, just like we've seen with the Giggles and the Queen Grumble. He is trying to take over our body. And what's more, I think I know why. Remember, in Dante's Inferno, Dante wasn't
Is he
bound
trying to
the
escape?
afterlife. He was merely visiting. We are merely visiting. We are the only ones who have the ability to freely travel through the different realms of hell, purgatory, and at the very end of Dante's Divine Comedy, even heaven, the realm of God, the realm of the Celestials, the realm of the ones who put Seek in hell for rebelling against them in the first place. Seek may be the ruler of this world, but that doesn't mean he wants to be there. This is a punishment for him,
So he's
just like
trying to
everyone
take our
else.
body
I
to
believe he wants to
escape.
go back to the Celestial realm to face off against the Celestials once again, and we are the ones who are going to help him do it. We are the ones able to move between realms, and so by catching us and taking over our body, bodies, he can too.
Dude,
Before now,
Game
we've
Theory
never
always sells
really
you by the
talked
end
about
of these,
Seek.
dude.
Mainly because outside
Always,
of his
chat.
cool chase sequence in the hotel, he didn't really do anything. He felt like all style
Oh,
and
man,
no
do
substance.
something.
Instead,
Do
we all
something, see?
focused on the figure as the main antagonist because he was the big bad we had to try and stop in the hotel. But now,
you big
in
mad?
the mines, the figure is nothing more than a background character. We are being shown that Seek is the real threat we need to worry about. I mean, what greater threat is there than the devil himself, right? The one who was cast down by the Celestials, now trying to return, and we are his ticket out of here. Which means it's even more important that we put a stop to him once we get to Hell's Center. And don't worry, this update took 2 years to come out, so we have plenty of time to
We got
get
plenty
good
of time to
before
get it
that
down, dude.
happens. But hey, that's just a theory.
A
game
theory.
theory. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep going deeper down the Roblox horror rabbit hole, just walk through the door on screen and watch.
Dress and press chat. We haven't seen that one. Let me bring you in. Okay, so Seeks is a fallen angel. We were rocking with that early on in the video, dude. Yeah. Fallen angel, just like the devil. And it is what it is. It is decided. I think it's actually pretty cut and dry. Unless if you believe Roblox Doors is not religious. I think it's always had all these religious notations and like context behind everything. So I think it's pretty cut and dry. I actually love this. I think he hit the nail on the head. Let me know what you guys think, but please make sure you show Game Theory some love by subscribing to the channel. Chat, we're trying to get to 250,000 subs. So if you haven't yet, please smash that subscribe button. Join the Sauce Gang family. Woo, woo, woo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, chat, and remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind to one another, and that's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Got nothing but love for the Sauce Gang.